Hey, no braces. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to do an album review. I'm going to continue with my Pink Floyd album review series and review Animals. And right here, I have a CD of Pink Floyd's Animals. I actually got in the year 2016 in a half-priced bookstore in Seattle, Washington. And as you can see, it's very dirty. It's very nasty. But it is the real deal. Like, real music plays out of this CD. Pigs on the Wing, Dogs, Pigs, Sheep, Pigs on the Wing Part 2. And yeah, there really isn't anything all that special inside. See, here's the CD, and then here's the sleeve. Check out this. Let's check out the sleeve. I believe there is some artwork. So here's the sleeve, and oh, it's actually more of lyric sheet, I guess. Yeah, more of a lyric sheet, and that's pretty much just it. So, Pink Floyd, psych rock, prog rock band, absolutely innovative and brilliant. They are back after releasing two of the most celebrated prog rock albums of all times, The Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here, and they seem to be on a roll because even on this album they do fantastically. So, yeah, this album's released in the year 1977, and it is also a concept album, and the concept is basically the 70s British politics. And more specifically, this album is about different kinds of politicians in the UK and actually the entire world. And the three kinds are dogs, pigs, and sheep, seen in the track list. And this is also a very clever reference to George Orwell's Animal Farm. And also, musically, this album sounds so much more aggressive and so much more hard-hitting and raw than all of Pink Floyd's previous work. Again, you have Dark Side of the Moon, which, yeah, has its aggressive moments, but all in all, a really sort of a soothing, meditative, somewhat psychedelic, and bold view of universal values. And then we have Wish You Were Here, which is definitely more melancholic, more touchy-feely. This one's aggressive. It sounds angry. It sounds really friggin' angry. And that's also one of the reasons why I think this is a very underrated Pink Floyd album. Also, we only have 5 songs on this album. Similarly, on Wish You Were Here, we also only get 5 songs. So it appears that the band is going for quality, not quantity on this album. But also, technically it's only 3 songs because on Wish You Were Here, it is introed and outroed with Shine On You Crazy Diamond. And both tracks of Shine On You Crazy Diamond are like 12, 13 minutes long, but on this album, it's the middle 3 tracks that are big and fat, while the first track and the last track, Pigs on the Wing 1 and 2, they are the very short tracks, a little bit over 1 minute long. And so this album sounds so much more laser focused, so much more concentrated, and so much more to the point. But still, I have to admit, in comparison with Wish You Were Here, of course, the intro and outro on Wish You Were Here is so much better than this one. But I still think that the intros and outros on this album are very fitting because it's the middle parts that we really need to care. They are the essence of the album. So yeah. Pigs on the Wing 1 and 2, they are both sweet little ballads that have similar guitar chords. The lyrics, they are a little bit different, but they basically mean the same thing. It's like, hey, take this album with a grain of salt. You know, these are just my opinions, and I need to somehow express my opinion, so I need to express it through music. Because back then Twitter doesn't exist. So yeah, I think at least that's how I speculate these tracks to be. But nonetheless, they are pretty fitting intros and outros to the album. If there's one significant difference I can find, it would be that the Pigs on the Wing 2 is louder than 1, like decibels louder. Anyways, first core track, Dogs, which is 17 minutes 5 seconds long. And this song is about dogs. It's about ruthless politicians who are shady, who backstab others, who cheat and bribe, who is incredibly dangerous and toxic. And then at the end of the day, he realizes that he or she, whoever the dogs refer to, have fucked up too much that they have to run away and hide because they are too afraid, and then one day they will die. And yeah, this song, it's long, but it's multifaceted. Every other track, Pigs and Sheep, are also multifaceted epics about a certain type of politician. And Dogs is the longest track on the entire album. We have lyrics like, so that when they turn their backs on you, you'll get the chance to put the knife in. So, we know that the Dogs type of politician are the backstabby type. But also, we see how these kinds of politicians usually end in a very sad way. How they just become just another sad old man all alone and dying of cancer. And later on the track, we also get dragged down by the stone. And the word stone just sort of gets repeated over and over and over and over again. It just becomes mind numbing and migraine inducing. In a way, it just shows how sad these kinds of politicians end up in and how they actually deserve it because of the terrible things they have done in the past. And musically, this track is also incredibly fantastic. It starts off as somewhat relaxing, mid-paced, guitar crisps, and then afterwards we get a synth solo. And the guitars and the synths on this track, they are not necessarily angry or aggressive. They actually seem a little sad and also a little sour, but at the same time, it's not slow or quiet at all. It still has a groove, a rhythm going. And the guitar solo in the middle of this track is very bright, it's very entertaining, very fantastic. You can never go wrong with a David Gilmour guitar solo. And I also really like the guitar lick, bam, 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 bam. And I also really like the scratchy, barking guitars. Sometimes on tracks on animals, the guitars would actually imitate the animal, such as on dogs, the guitars would sometimes sound like a dog barking, and it's very impressive. They can pull something off like this. And in the middle of the track gets a little bit more groovy with, and it's too late to use the hate. Both David Gilmour and Roger Waters also take turns singing on this track, and then at the very final ending, it becomes very grand and bold and climactic. And overall, I think this is a very amazing track. It is multi-phased, multifaceted. It tells the truth. It spits facts about a certain kind of politician, and it sort of depicts how terrible that kind of politician is. But hey, the other two kinds, they're also very terrible. First of all, we have Pigs, an 11.5 minute long track about pigs. And it's the kind of politician that, while they're not the very shady, backstabby kind, but they are incredibly, I guess, they have a lot of similarities. Dogs and pigs, they have a lot of similarities, but I guess pigs, they act really nice. They act really kind, and they act like they're good people, but when in fact they don't care. They just want the money, they just want the fame. And yeah, the keyboards, they feel very dirty and nasty on this track. The guitars feel sluggish, which really lives up to this type of politician, this type of personality. And we have lyrics like, big man, pig man, haha, charade you are. And it's actually kind of funny because these lyrics, they're still relevant nowadays. And occasionally we get muffled vocals and cowbells to make the track sound even nastier and even more toxic. And we have lyrics like, you're nearly a laugh, but you're really a cry. Ooh, that's very insulting. Again, the guitars, the way they squawk, sounds like pigs snorting. And this track has 3 verses, and each verse is aimed at almost a specific person, or at least different kind of pig. The first one being a very wealthy pig stain on your fat chin. So obviously, the politician doesn't care about hunger or the problems people are facing. And the second one being the emotionless one, the one who lacks compassion. And the third one being the one who lies a lot and doesn't hold onto promises. So yeah, pigs, a really great track as well. Then we have the track Sheep, which is a 10-minute long track as well. And Sheep is one of the most underrated Pink Floyd songs, in my opinion. I absolutely love this track. Yeah, it starts off with birds chirping, and we have these really relaxing, ethereal keyboards, sort of building a really nice, safe environment. And then we get the bass, bum 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 bum, and it just sort of gets louder and louder and louder. And then the instrumentals drop, and it becomes this very urgent and stressful musical explosion where it sounds like the guitars are just running really fast, like horses on a field. And yeah, this track, it's about sheep. It's about politicians who are innocent, who either don't know what's going on, or they know what's going on, but they don't seem to care about what's going on. So they just follow other people's orders, they obey orders, and they don't do anything about that. So other people will screw them over, and they will all fail as a politician, basically. Yeah, I really like the moments where the vocals very smoothly and naturally blend and transition into these synths. I also really like the chorus on the first half. What a surprise! And the mechanical whooshes, which reminds me a lot of Welcome to the Machine, Back on Wish You Were Here. They come back. The repeated vocal samples in the back, they are back as well on this track, and the production is fantastic on this track. The synths, they sound kind of upbeat, but in a way it shows how dangerous and messed up the political climate can be. But these sheep, of course, they don't seem to care about that at all. And then yeah, the synths, they are originally upbeat, but towards the end they sound really sour and broken. But the ending, it becomes very bright and jangly, and it's yeah, it's a pretty fantastic ending as well. And then of course afterwards we have Pigs on the Wing 2, and then the album's over. So yeah, while this album, I don't think this is the most eventful album of all times. Like, yeah, while this album, every single minute of it is really enjoyable, and the production, the lyrics, the concept, the everything, they're all really fantastic in my opinion. They're all near flawless. But in comparison with other albums like The Wall later on, or Wish You Were Here, Dark Side of the Moon, this album doesn't feel as essential because there are more empty spaces. But I guess in a way it works really well in an album about politics because it takes time to digest messages like this. So yeah, I really don't have much to say. I love this album. It's incredibly underrated. See, here's the thing. On certain days, my favorite track is Dogs. On certain days, my favorite track is Pigs. And on certain days, my favorite track is Sheep. So my favorite track is between these three, and my least favorite is between the 2 Pigs on the Wing tracks. I really can't tell which one is my favorite or least favorite. I guess, given that this album only has 5 tracks and 2 of them are really intros, just intros and outros, it's pretty much pointless to specify which one is my favorite and which one is my least favorite. Yeah, feeling a 10 on this thing. 10 out of 10 once again. 10 out of 10 once again. So, have you listened to Pink Floyd's Animals from 1 to 10? How much you rate it, like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. Yay.